Enable notifications by ringing the bell.
Okay, we're going to try and start this because Heather won't get off the damn topic of she thinks Chris Pratt is gay. And guess what? I can already hear you coming down in the comments.
We've been talking about it for like 25 seconds.
I know.
Boy, that bus came out of nowhere, and you just threw her right under it.
Well, what do you expect?
For
She's
no
done
reason.
that to me.
Never mind.
Anyway. Hey.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway.
So anyway,
hi.
yeah,
How
we're doing something else.
I hope you all are well today.
Yes. So
I said I didn't know Chris Pratt was gay. You guys said no. I said he posted this weird thing, and you guys go, okay, stop it.
no, I didn't
We
go.
went,
Okay,
what?
stop it. I said, how do you know that that's even Chris Pratt in that picture? And how do you know that that's two guys in that picture?
Why would-
Okay,
Oh, wait.
stop it. I just want to watch people die.
Thank you,
Same,
Micah.
Micah.
All right.
Micah has
Honestly.
spoken.
Honestly.
So say we all. So we are watching
Dead Meat.
Dead Meat, which apparently a lot of you have been requesting. I don't know. I don't read the comments.
Spoilers, people die.
Okay, yeah. So
Not
so
often.
this is a series. Hopefully, we will react to more and more. The more Heather watches, more
more
like
spook-
horror movies
spook
and
times.
spoopy movies
I've
and.
seen most horror movies.
Okay,
I would
Evil
say I
Dead
have
is not most horror movies.
I mean, Evil Dead is better than most horror movies.
I agree 100%. Okay,
Sorry.
have you seen any of the Friday the 13th films?
You've already asked me this, yes.
And you didn't. No, you said, "Oh, I've seen Nightmare on Elm Street." You redirected. You didn't answer me.
It's
So
Then this isn't like breaking up two kids. We're consenting adults having a conversation. We're not in grade school.
Can I just watch people die?
I want to watch people die too, but
so we're going to watch Dead Meat's video on
Nightmare on Elm Street.
Bad Night in Spoop's place.
Fuck you.
Spoop time in Tree place. Something where people die a lot.
Good
Welcome
intro.
to the Kill Count, where we tally up the victims in all our favorite horror movies. I'm James A. Janice, and today, my friends, today is a very special day, because we're looking at A Nightmare
He
on
could be
Elm
a
Street,
superhero
the
with that
1984
alliteration.
monster written and directed by Wes Craven that
Oh,
gave
great
the world
alliteration.
Freddy Krueger. Throughout the years, Fred Krueger and his sweater-wearing, finger-knife-tearing, dreaming parent self has become one of the most recognizable
Fred?
figures in all of pop culture. And it's
Please
not
don't call him
surprising,
Fred.
given the franchise's run of 9 films, including a crossover and a reboot, 2 seasons of the TV show Freddy's Nightmares, a video game of his own, as well as a character in many others, and all other sorts of appearances in pop culture. But the other thing that makes the Springwood slasher so memorable is that he's not just a guy in a mask played by mostly interchangeable actors. Freddy is given life and a
Whoa.
huge personality by the classically trained Robert Englund, who portrayed the character
That's
in
not
every
safe.
film appearance until the remake. Although the series
not
would eventually
interchangeable.
spiral out
No.
of control with a messy mythos,
Robert
and
Englund is
completely
not
cartoon-like
interchangeable.
Freddy,
No, that's
none of
what
that
he's
can take
saying.
away from
That
the
he
stunning
said that. He
accomplishment
said,
that is
you know,
Wes Craven's
unlike
Nightmare on Elm
most,
Street. With all that in
unlike
mind,
most
let us begin this journey
supervillains who
into
are,
the
you know,
kills.
Like horror villains who
villains.
are just hiding behind a mask.
and who are
The movie
interchangeable by
begins with
actors.
some picture-in-picture shots of a dude hard at work. What you got there, disembodied hands? A couple of knife blades, an old leather glove. Well, you make do with what you have, and voila, we've got the finger knife glove, the most iconic murder weapon in horror history. Title card on Elm Street. Right off the bat, we're in a dream, which is pretty obvious since nightgowns aren't your usual boiler room apparel. Also, there's a sheet. Our ill-dressed protagonist is Tina Gray, and she's being tormented by a fella wearing those Pinterest murder gloves. Better run as fast as you can, Tina. No, like run.
I would have said,
What are you doing? Right when it looks like
Pinterest
she's
murder
safe, her
gloves.
tormentor
I
jumps
don't
up
know.
behind
I'd have
her.
said
Then she
Etsy.
wakes up from her
Etsy
dream.
murder
Wait a
gloves,
minute.
'cause-
How could that have just been a dream if her nightgown got torn like that? Tina grabs her crucifix for comfort as we're introduced to Springwood's newest sensation, the Jump Rope Girls, in their glossy premiere music video. Tina and her friends are jamming out to that track when they pull up to go to school the next day. What, they just get to park right there on the street? Tina's telling Nancy Thompson and Glenn
In
Lance
that
about
car?
her nightmare, with Nancy
Car's so
confiding she
nice.
had one too, when they're joined by Rod Lane.
I had a hard on this morning when I woke up, Tina. Had your name written all over it.
There's 4 letters in my name, Rod. How could there be room on your joint for 4 letters?
Oh, cool. Teenage characters that are funny and likable. Thanks as always, Wes Craven. Nancy tells Tina not to worry because everyone has bad dreams once in a while. And Glenn's like, yeah, one time I dreamt that I grew up and starred in a movie called Mordecai. Then he runs off to
Ooh, that's a deep cut on Johnny Depp.
That
Nancy
is.
learned that both their dreams feature the same long fingernailed freak.
Actually, they were more like finger knives or something.
Oh, sorry, Nancy. Finger knives. Friggin' know-it-all. Want to tell me what they sound like, too? Glenn's skeptical that they dreamt of the same dude, but then they hear that scree coming from out back. They go outside, and Glenn makes the least threatening threat I've ever heard.
I'm gonna punch out your ugly lights, whoever you are.
And then gets friggin' sacked by Rod, who's there to bang girls and style his pompadour. And he's all out of pomade.
So what's going on here? An orgy or something?
Rod the type of guy to make screeching noises with a garden tool and pull a fucking switchblade on another dude, but Tina's still down to bone him anyway. Glenn tries to get in on the action too, but Nancy ain't having it because she's a good girl. So he just has to lie there at night with his aching blue balls and listen to the loud-ass moaning going on from upstairs, where Rod bangs the grammar out of Tina.
Jungle Man, fix Jane.
She wakes up later to some rocks hitting her window, and if the elastic wall over
I
Nancy
was
is any
trying not to
indication,
laugh at
it looks
that.
like Freddy's trying to pay a visit. Nancy covers that shit with the man JC in the first instance of a Catholic connection to Fred Krueger that'll strangely grow throughout the series. We're only 15 minutes into the movie, and we're already about to get one of the most infamous scenes of horror. Tina wanders outside to confront her dream man, and when she steps into an alley, a fedoraed shadow appears behind her. It's Freddy Krueger's first appearance, and it's dark and scary, and wait, what the fuck? Why does he look like Stretch Armstrong? No, seriously. Yeah, I mean, sure, the sparking finger knives are scary, and his first line's pretty cool.
You know how that was achieved? Running electric current through the
And
wall.
then he's running like a drunk uncle playing around with
Yeah,
his
yeah,
nephew
yeah.
as
Yeah,
he
makes
chases
sense.
Tina down
Yeah.
the alleyway. I'm not trying to shit on Freddy's first appearance. I think
The
it's
way
awesome.
this
and it's
bitch
got a
runs.
ton of great moments, like when he shows off his masochism to Tina by slicing off his fingers, or when she rips off his face to reveal a creepy skeleton puppet behind it. But even those are a little silly. And I'm just pointing out that even from his first appearance, he's always had a little bit of goofiness to him. But
Yes.
unlike in later films, this Freddy's still scary as fuck. Rod wakes up to find Tina thrashing around and is unable to see Freddy murdering her when her chest erupts open with 4 slash marks. Then she starts levitating above the bed and her body smacks Rod across the room. In one of the best kills I've ever seen, Tina is slowly dragged up the wall of her room, which they accomplish by building a freaking rotating room and nailing down the furniture and cameras in place while they turned it. Tina winds up on the ceiling, reaching out to Rod for help as he screams her name, but there's nothing he can do, and she
That's
falls to the bed dead.
pretty
An amazing
fantastic.
first
That's
kill to
pretty
start
impressive.
the franchise.
Yes.
Glenn and Nancy bust in the room to find
Special
Tina dead on the
effects,
floor
ladies
and
and
Rod
gentlemen.
nowhere to be found.
Practicality.
Nancy goes to the police
It
station where her
friggin' worked.
dad, Lieutenant Donald Thompson, is
John
taking on the case. He
Saxon.
and her mom, Marge,
Again.
don't get along, but they do agree on the fact that Rod's the murderer, even after Nancy says the earlier fight Tina and Rod had wasn't that serious.
Maybe you don't think murder is serious.
Oh, what the fuck, Marge? Don't mind her. She's probably just drunk. No, for real. The next morning, she's boozing for breakfast. She tries to get Nancy to stay home from
Relatable.
school, but Nancy, sleeping from staying up, would probably rather learn geometry than get her makeup melted
Wrong
off
cup,
by
girl.
the
Wrong
On
cup.
the way to school, Nancy's being followed by a cop
Mom,
and
your cup
abducted
is
by a
spicy.
greaser, which we call real soch of a day. Rod tells Nancy he's innocent, but before he can properly make a case, Lieutenant Thompson pops out, and Rod winds up being arrested in the middle of the road. Pop Thompson turns to Nancy and is like, "Great bait, mate. Better get to school before you're late." In demonology class with her teacher Elise Rainier, Nancy has a hard time staying awake, even though the kid reading in front of the class is wearing the loudest shirt I've ever seen. But she eventually falls asleep, which gives us more fun dream stuff, like Tina in a bloody body bag saying "What up" to Nancy. When
Max
Nance
Payne had
follows
the
her out into
loudest-
hallway,
the
we
loudest
get another indelible
shirt I've ever
image,
seen.
The body bag being dragged away around the corner by an invisible force. Nancy runs to follow it, but she smacks into a hall monitor wearing a very familiar outfit.
Where's your pass? Screw your pass.
Better watch that attitude, Nancy. That monitor's been ordained in the Church of Finger Knife. Nancy follows the blood trail downstairs into the boiler room where she runs into Fred Krueger for herself. He's still on that masochism kick and shows Nancy he's got a bunch of oozy maggots behind his nipples. Yeah. Then he comes after her and corners her in the boiler room. And the only way Nancy avoids his glove and his waggly tongue is by burning herself against a hot pipe, which wakes herself up out of the dream. She sees that her dream injury followed her into the real world, so she visits Rod in jail again to hear him out. He tells her that Tina died from 4 slashes all at once, and further elaborates that he's also dreamt of a guy with knives for fingers. So Nancy finally begins to realize just how deep of shit they're all in. And it's pretty deep. That night she's enjoying some tubby time with her favorite blue bath pillow.
One of the
when
more
she falls
iconic
asleep. Freddy gets
scenes
real
in
suggestive
horror.
with his glove. Before things can get explicit,
Yeah.
Nancy's woken up by her mom, warning her about sleepy people drowning in baths, but Nancy doesn't heed her warning and falls asleep again. And this time Fred gets straight to business and pulls her underwater, turning her tub into a deep blue sea and nearly drowning her in the bath. She's able to
That's
escape,
Deep Blue
but she
Sea.
ain't
Where's the
taking
sharks?
chances no more.
Where's
Better break
Samuel
out
L.
these
Jackson?
convenient stay awake pills
You know
behind
where
the
he
mirror.
is.
They act VFAST. She gets a bedtime
I don't
visit
think I
from
want
Glenn,
him in the
still
bath
doesn't
with
buy
me.
into all this dream murder stuff, so he's probably not
Listen
the best
here,
person to ask to stand
motherfucker.
guard for you while you go on a dream journey.
Got your toilet paper hung up the wrong goddamn way.
What if Freddy Krueger was played by
In her dream, she goes outside.
Oh.
Instead of bitching me, motherfucker.
Got a visitor. It's conjugal. Nancy starts calling out for Glenn, but to no avail. Then Tina shows up again and gets all buggy, spitting out centipedes and turning into
Yeah.
eels and shit.
Nice.
Is this what your dreams are like? What did you
Yummy.
eat before
The
bed,
Hakuna-
Nancy?
the
Freddy
Hakuna
pops out
Matata
and
diet.
begins another chase sequence that leads
Slimy
Nancy
yet
to her home,
satisfying.
where she tries to run upstairs only to find the steps have been turned into blocks of toothpaste. Freddy
Okay,
uses
that's
very
a really
unconvincing
cool
mask
effect.
and pretends
Yes.
to be Tina for a minute.
Nancy, help me, please.
until he gets bored role-playing and just wants to be himself again.
Save me from
Nancy finally gets upstairs only to find Glenn asleep, and when she tries to wake herself up in the mirror, she instead gets attacked by Freddy, who jumps through it and pins her down on the bed. They have a feathery pillow fight, which looks like lots of fun, but before Freddy can close the deal, Nancy's alarm clock goes off and wakes her up. She yells at Glenn because he had one job.
you shit.
When she sees a remnant of her Freddy fun time, she realizes Rod is in danger. They go to the police station, but get held up by Nancy's dad, who's working late on the case, so they're unable to get back to Rod as he's being visited by Freddy via a very phallic rolled-up bedsheet that wraps around his neck. It tightens and strangles him, then drags him across the floor and up the wall to hang him to death. They all find Rod dead via hanging in the jail cell, giving us another kill to chalk up on the board. I guess he couldn't stay golden. After Rod's funeral, Nancy describes her dream stalker to her dad, who looks at Marge nervously as Nance goes into detail about the hat and the sweater and the finger knife glove. Mama Marge says it's time for Nancy to get help, so off to the Katja Institute?
Katya.
Science.
Yeah.
Nancy goes to
Katya.
sleep under
It's
supervision, but when she slips into REM sleep, her charts start going all earthquakey, and she convulses violently in bed. Marge and the doctors wake her up to find 3 things. Number 1, Nancy's hair is now white. It just might remain that white for the rest of her days. Number 2, I don't really have Hamilton lyrics for 2 or 3.
she's
but
turned
she's
in-
got a
so she's
slash on
turned
her
into
arm, and
Rogue.
she's pulled Freddy's fedora out of her dreams and into reality. But Nancy, how will he milady his
Or no,
way around
is Katya-
Dreamworld?
no,
now? The
Katya's
next morning,
German.
after
Katya's
Nancy
Russian.
shows Marge
Yep.
the name
Now
Fred
what's the
Krueger
difference?
is written inside
European.
the hat, in case Fred ever had a coat check.
To all our
I guess.
European
Marge
fans
says
out
he's
there,
not
I
a threat
apologize.
because
That was a
Fred
joke.
Krueger is dead. And Nancy gets real mad that Marge has known about this dude the whole time. So mad that she smashes Marge's handle on the floor. Oh, that liquor's coming out of your allowance, young lady. Later on, after the scene very obviously shot in Venice Beach, despite the film's apparent Ohio setting, Nancy comes home to find the windows on her house have wrought iron bars covering them. Looks like Mama Marge got drunk and installed a new security system in, what, a single afternoon? And they say alcohol's a depressant. Marge takes Nancy down to the basement to finally fill her in on Fred Krueger's backstory.
He was a filthy child murderer who killed at least 20 kids in the neighborhood.
Oh, heavy shit. But know that here they only mention child murder. Still not great by any stretch of the imagination, but it wasn't until the reboot that Freddy explicitly became even more of a monster. Nancy asks if the justice system did its job, but sounds like it didn't.
The lawyers got fat and the judge got famous, but somebody forgot to sign the search warrant in the right place, and Krueger was free just like that.
So Marge admits that the parents trapped Freddy in an old warehouse and burned the mother down with him inside, killing him in the fire and taking for a death trophy his finger knife glove. Nancy calls Glenn, who, oh yeah, lives across the street in a crop top paradise, and tells him who Freddy is and how she plans to kill him. She's gonna grab him and pull him out of her dreams into the real world. And then, I guess Glenn's supposed to do the dirty work?
I grab the guy in my dream. You see me struggling, so you wake me up. We both come out, you whack the fucker, and we got him.
I still wouldn't be trusting this dude after he fell asleep last time, but Nancy gives him another chance and says to meet her on the porch at midnight.
Whatever you do, don't fall asleep.
Marge puts Nancy to bed and cleans up her coffeeware, not knowing that as soon as she's out of the room, Nancy's about to pull out her backup supply to get another.
What? No.
At midnight, Nancy goes to sneak
I've been
out,
there.
only to be thwarted by Glenn breaking out her
Coffee
own
shop
backup
Jesus.
supply of essential fluid. She tries to call Glenn, but that fucking fuck ass has fallen asleep again.
What's the
Glenn's
confusion?
dad answers
With
the
the-
phone and
with
tells
the
Nancy to
TV
leave them alone.
squarely
Takes the phone off the ringer so she can't call back
on his
anymore.
crotch.
Nancy gets a call back though, only it's a horrible nail screeching noise that causes her to rip the phone line out of the wall. That doesn't stop the phone from ringing again though. Spooky. Better take that call, Nance. Must be pretty important.
I'm your boyfriend now, Nancy.
Oh, tongue on the first kiss, Fred. Slow that shit
The
down.
call is
Nancy
coming
runs
from
downstairs to
inside
find
the
that she's been
phone.
locked inside her own house by Marge, who's 2 sheets to the wind on the couch.
Blah, blah.
Then we finally get to see Glenn pay for never being able to stay the fuck awake when he gets sucked into his bed by Freddy's arm. His mattress turns into a straight up Serta sinkhole, and then a gory geyser as it erupts with blood, covering the ceiling and the walls of Glenn's room with his innards. It's a fascinating
That's for
kill
Mordecai,
that uses the
asshole.
same upside down room that Tina's kill did.
And
only
for
this
just
one
being
got a little out
kind of
of
an
control,
asshole in
shocking some
general.
crew members with the electrified blood water and tilting the room off balance when the blood pooled to one side. Thus, the
Wow.
even weirder imagery of all that blood sliding off at an angle.
That's
This
really
kill is
cool.
an absolute
Yeah.
classic. After Nancy's dad gets to Glenn's house, she calls him and tells him that now it's his job to whack the fucker when she pulls him out of her dream. But he just gives her some half-assed assurance that he will, then sends his deputy outside to keep an eye on her house. Now it's time for a Home Alone sequence. I feel like the 80s went on a real kick with kids and teenagers setting booby traps all over their houses. Anyone ever
Yeah.
see the bizarre little monsters with Fred Savage? Same type of shit, man. Of course, Nancy's
I've
traps
seen
have a
that.
bit more of a your
Wasn't
next
that
edge
bad?
to them. Before the fun and games
Okay,
begin, she
actually, it
puts
was
Marge
pretty
in
bad.
bed, and they have a heart
I mean,
to heart where
replacing
they
a
mostly
guy's
make
apple
up. Yeah,
juice
Marge,
with
maybe
piss,
put down the bottle of
that's
bed
going
now.
too far.
Leave it for the morning. Hair of the the dog.
Where did she keep
Nancy
getting
sends a
those?
couple of
She
alarms
keeps
to cast off
pulling
the
them out
dream.
of
She goes to
nowhere.
her dream basement where the dream finger knives are missing. Then a dream door leads her to a dream boiler room because when you have this place as a shooting location, you might as well get a lot of use out of it.
I mean,
Freddy
right?
shows
Wear it
up
out,
and
man.
chases her,
Definitely.
scaring her off a platform that lands her back in her front yard. Right before her alarm goes off, though, he shows up again and she leaps on him to try to bring him back to her world. She wakes up in bed and it looks like nothing really happened. How do you explain that one, Nancy?
I'm crazy after all.
Yeah, crazy like a fox. We get a great final girl sequence here, beginning with Nancy smashing a glass over Fred's head. A cop across the street ignores her pleas for help, so Fred finds the time to escape her room, only to get hit in the stomach with her sledgehammer trap, fall backwards down the stairs, and trip over a wire, igniting a lamp full of gunpowder. God damn, Freddy, you clumsy as hell in the real world. They wind up in the basement where Nancy douses Fred with gasoline and lights him on fire. And you wouldn't like Freddy when he's on fire, because he's about 20 pounds heavier in the face, and it looks fucking weird. It's actually an amazing fire stunt performed by Tony Cesare, who did stunts in The Thing and played Ghostface in the first two Screams. Dude tumbles down the stairs while on fire, then begins to climb up them again, all of which was done in a single take. That's some
Wow.
That is a
commitment.
commitment.
That's
right there.
insanity.
When they see her friggin' house is on fire. But if those burning footsteps are any indication, it looks like Freddy's escaped the basement and gone
Not over
upstairs
yet.
to go after Marge. Nancy walks
Also,
in
the
to
little
find a
fire
flaming
tornado that
Freddy
was
straddling
happening
her
there.
mother.
Really
After
cool.
Donald rushes in and puts out the fire with a sheet, they pull it back to find Marge's charred corpse floating over an eerie abyss. It sinks down into nothingness, and her death concludes with the bed returning to normal.
Now do you believe me?
Yeah, you kind of owe your daughter for life for this one, Lieutenant. Nancy sends her dad downstairs.
I mean,
She
you know.
knows she's got to finish this shit. She turns her back to the bed and allows Freddy to rise up from it, tearing his way out of the sheets like an impatient, murdery newborn. But she tells him that it's too late for him to get her, and that the whole thing is just a dream.
I take back every bit of energy I gave you.
Quite a gamble. Let's see if it pays off. And it does! Wow, unexpected static effects there. She walks out of the bedroom and right onto her front porch, where it's a sunny day and her mom hasn't yet been barbecued. Good deal. Oh, and look, all her friends are alive too. Wow, Nance, you made out like a bandit with this ending. Should I take back all those kills from the count? Not so fast, first-timers, because it looks like Glenn is driving a Fredsmobile, and it don't want that top down at all. To be honest, this whole end tag scene is kind of a senseless mess that was only tacked on due to producer Bob Shaye's insistence. Wes Craven was not a fan of watching a possessed car drive off with his heroine screaming. Even worse
What is this,
happens
Christine?
after Marge sees the jump rope girls singing their one-hit wonder. Watch this mannequin in just a second. Oh god, it looks so bad. One last time in slow motion.
Yep.
Oof. Kind of a crap ending to stick on one of the greatest horror movies of all time. But you know
Yep.
what? It doesn't negate the kills. So let's see how many we've got at the numbers.
James, why?
Good.
4 people died in the original Nightmare on Elm
Hey,
Street,
50-50.
which is low, but surprisingly not the lowest in the series. Of the victims, 2 were men and 2 were women, making Freddy a certified equal opportunity murderer. With a runtime of 91 minutes, that comes out to a kill on average every 22.75 minutes. I'll give the golden chainsaw for coolest kill to Glenn. It was tough between his and Tina's death since they're both absolutely incredible, but this one might have just won out because of the accidental slide all the blood at the end. It just looks so damn cool. Dalmache for lamest death goes to Rod. It's a fine kill, but compared to the other 3, it's the least memorable. And
Yeah,
that's
it's
it.
pretty
Nightmare
Just
on
can't
Elm
hold
Street was
up.
released in 1984 and single-handedly launched New Line Cinema into the big leagues of
She
production
got it.
companies. It also spawned a whole bunch of
Sorry,
sequels,
Chico.
and we'll
Didn't
cover
mean
the
to bump
first
you.
one, Freddy's Revenge, next Friday. Until then, I'm James A. Janice. This has been the Kill Count. Thanks a lot for watching my Kill Count for A Nightmare on Elm Street. I want to thank a couple of my patrons like Patrick Janeway and Stefan Kalinowski. Due to me making a request too late, I had to settle for this plastic finger knife glove for this first video, but I have like an exact replica coming in the mail from RazorGloves.com. Special thanks to Chris who was sending it my way.
RazorGloves.com.
In these videos. I'm also
That
just really excited
exists.
for the series.
Well, Heather's on it.
Oh, yeah, Heather. Go,
Heather's going to look it
go.
up, so you don't
Heather, the
have
Google Meister
to.
General.
Oh, dear.
Go for it.
Usually this is my job, but my phone is over there charging. So
One of the things I do appreciate, though, is like they actually show him halfways making the glove. I mean, you know.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
Well, those are not the ones.
Oh, wait. Let me see those.
well, yeah,
Are those
and
cut-resistant
for me,
gloves?
for
Yes.
me, I,
Huh.
for me, I, like, for me, I think that
Oh, there it is.
going
Yep.
more intricate into like showing the killer's formation of the of his weapon is honestly something that they don't do in many films because the machete. Well, Jason really uses what's available to him. Everyone says, "Oh, Jason's favorite weapon is the machete," but yet he's not used the machete to kill everybody. It really didn't become like his common staple until like part 6.
There was like the pull-out bed. He just totally like. Burp.
Yeah.
I mean,
also the
so it's
stake
like,
that impaled both.
yeah.
Both.
So I mean, it's like.
Also the what was it? I think it was like no, that was in part 1. That was his mother who did that.
I mean, when you're freakishly strong, you can just kind of do whatever you want. I mean.
Yeah.
So, interesting fact: RazorGlove, no S.com is cut-resistant gloves.
Yeah.
Razor gloves with the S is exact replicas of the glove from Nightmare on Elm Street.
Cool.
In the different parts.
Oh, so for
There's
imagine, like,
one for the one he made in the opening credits.
Okay.
There's the one that he typically uses during the movie. There's part 2. It's really neat.
I wonder if they have the one
actually.
from New Nightmare, which is actually has
I saw 4 different
like
ones.
a skeleton build to it. It's kind of like it. I mean, it's kind of. I will say this: the Nightmare
Pull
on
that
Elm
shit
Street
back up.
films, they are not. I mean, over time they have not gotten better and better and better. You know, because sometimes certain film series, like sometimes they get better as time goes on because in case in point of this, I'd say the high point of this was the first one, and then I don't know. I think a lot of people have said that 4 is really good as well.
Yeah, there's here.
1, 4, and I heard that. Well, I've seen New Nightmare. I didn't think much of it.
So here's the different. Just scroll down.
Okay.
So those are the different.
Numero uno. Okay.
So
leather, copper cover, boiler room. Okay, the boiler room. So I see. Okay.
Yeah. See, so there's different versions.
There's different variations.
Yeah.
Numero uno is the most expensive because it's actually got the like charred copper at the end of the fingertips.
Ooh.
And then the Slayer has copper infused at the tips at the base of the blades.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's why those are so expensive. Whereas the other ones are just basic copper,
copper tubing.
sleeves,
Yeah.
just basic copper sleeves around them.
Yeah.
So that's cool. And as for the razor gloves, they don't have any like fanfare at the fingertips. It's just like etched onto the gloves.
Yeah.
So that's cool. That's nice. I like that.
Those are pretty sweet.
All right. One reason why I really wanted to do this this channel, this series, is because Dead Meat is a channel and a series that honestly I've seen a lot of, Count the Kills or something like that on YouTube, but this is one that actually takes it about 10 steps further than those channels ever did, because not only is the host likable and funny, he's not like he's awkward funny, but at the same time he also has some good puns and good jokes.
There's a lot of like rapid fire humor in there.
Yeah, and multi-layered jokes as well. So
it's layered. He goes over the entire movie.
Yeah,
and not just the kills.
No, he goes over like big story points and all that. And not only does he go over the story points to in great degree, but he also sometimes in some of these I've seen that he does like little details, like he talked about the guy going up the stairs, the stunt, the stunt guy did that all in one take.
Didn't know
which is impressive.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and also I'm surprised he didn't talk about the scratching, the claws scratching on the
like creating the sparks
the sparks and how it did that. Whereas I knew about it because I've watched some behind the scenes, and also I've done a little bit of research into how some special effects work, like how you get flamboyant sparks whenever you want to like seem intimidating.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like there was this one movie where this guy was like sharpening a blade, and he was sharpening, and like they wanted it to look like he was sharpening it so hard it was like causing these huge sparks, like at an alarming rate because how strong this guy was. And the reason how they did that was they actually gave him a glove that was had the look of like a regular blacksmith glove, but internally it was resistant to electric shock.
Yep.
And they told him to maintain a safe distance away from him, and also he had both gloves were rubberized so he couldn't get shocked. And they told him just like scrape it as hard as you can and
go nuts.
Like throw sparks as far as you can out. And they tried multiple ways of doing it. Like they had one that was not magnesium. It's one of those. I have one.
Flint and steel.
Kind of flint and steel. Yeah, kind of like that. And they gave him a blade that was shaped like that, and did that, and it didn't work as well. They showed that the electric one was the one that worked the best because the sparks remained consistent all the way down the blade, whereas because the blade was so long, it actually skipped a bit, and it actually didn't look as good. So I love special effects in movies, especially practical effects. Because CG is such a big thing nowadays in movies. Because pretty much all of the Marvel films nowadays, like Tony Stark hasn't been in a full Iron Man suit since the first one. It's all been green. It's pretty much just been him in a spec suit that's got the dots on it for animation, and then the program they put on it animates everything over top of him. And we can all kind of tell that that's not a real suit.
Yeah.
Whenever he's got it on in the movie.
Especially, and I hate to say it this way, especially in Infinity War.
Well, Infinity War... of the suits that I've seen, and I really, really like Iron Man.
Yeah. I think those suits are great.
Yeah.
That is the worst suit that I've seen on him.
Well, I will say this. I'm glad they did... there's no spoiler here. I mean, this is kind of an expected thing. The nanite suit technology that they used for that, I think now, in terms of practicality, I think it's in terms of the progression of how Tony Stark has gone, because it used to be he'd have to get in the suit builder and the suit would assemble itself around him. And then eventually you had the flyer suit in the third one that came to him and attached to him.
Yeah, he had the briefcase suit in 2.
Yeah.
Like, all of these were in the comics. And what they were trying to do in Infinity War was the Extremist suit.
Yeah,
which was actually stored in his bones.
Yeah.
Because Extremist is fucking weird.
Well, I could see why they would go with what they did.
Yeah, but the suit in and of itself wasn't so bad. But then when it started doing weird stuff, I'm just like, I'm done.
Well, no,
now it just looks like, he's just, it's like, so we're just going to do weird, like, Mr. Fantastic stuff with it now.
Well, not entirely, because eventually he runs out.
I mean,
the suit, as it breaks, he runs out.
Right, but, like, there are a couple of punches that he throws where you get, like, the big hammer part. That looked so bad.
Well,
who signed off on that? Anyway,
the Russo brothers, because they're the ones who directed it.
Yeah.
But honestly,
with as much going on in that movie, I mean,
Yeah, and here we are talking about Infinity War again. Yeah. What's kind of made... Actually, that is probably one of our most viewed videos of the last few months, because it's got 50,000 views on it already, and it's nuts how many people, like, in the comment section are, like, ripping us to pieces and all this and all that because of our opinions and everything. In all honesty... I just stopped looking at it because of the ignorance and the stupidity that's going on down there.
I mean, look, we were in an emotional state.
I wasn't.
Some of us are still in an emotional state.
Yeah. So
to be fair, I've actually gotten over it, and I was being the most dramatic.
All right. So anyway, let's get off of Avengers and let's concentrate on
horror
both
movies.
This channel.
Oh wait, never mind.
On both this channel and Nightmare on Elm Street. So
this is the first thing I've seen from this channel.
Same.
Yes.
And
impressed?
I like it.
Oh,
I like what they're doing. A very like.
Can we have background? Like, what are they at Subwise? When did they start?
Yeah, I can do that right here. So Dead Meat. 642,000 subscribers.
Wow.
Dang.
And I believe they started posting videos. Let's see. How long has James had this channel open? Okay, so January 6th. So they just had their over 1 year anniversary.
Yeah.
And
almost a year and a half. We'll just go with that.
Look at this. Look at the amount of views they have.
Wow.
113 million. No, not just that. You know how many our channel has overall?
How many?
93 million. Yeah. So they're in terms of their rapport with their channels.
They're retaining.
Yeah.
Oh, they're maintaining at a massive rate, and I'm loving. And I love what James A. Janice, the host, what he brings to this, and also, he started this channel on his own.
Is it just him?
I believe no. I believe he has editors.
I think he's got some. There's got to be some production.
It's very well done.
Very well done. But a lot of the writing, I know a lot of the writing and some of the editing I've heard he does himself.
How often does he post?
At least once a week. I know he's doing the Saw movies right now, and he's on Saw 2. Saw 3, I think, comes out next week.
I think it might come out tomorrow, actually. If he said Fridays were his release
every
day.
Fridays. So yeah, so So Saw 3 comes out this week. Comes out Friday.
Wow,
So-
dating the video.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, the rapid fire humor.
Yeah.
You know, the jokes had just enough time to land, which, you know, you can make jokes as quickly or slowly as you want, but the joke has to have time to land and, you know, process through the audience's brain.
Yeah.
And then, you know, get the laugh and go on.
And okay.
And
go ahead.
Honestly, I'm getting a lot of feel like I sort of wish I was getting from Doug Walker.
Sort of, because honestly, I see this channel and I see what he, you know, his production value and also what he brings to the table in terms of his expertise and his comedy writing and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I feel as though, well, he doesn't put on a character like Doug does for the Nostalgic Critic.
And I mean that's a big difference, and that's very important to the distinction.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I like the style of it.
Uh-huh.
I think it's quite good.
I do as well. I'm very impressed, and I want to watch more of these. We'll have to find out what other horror films Heather has seen, and if there's some on here that she hasn't, well, Renegade Masterpiece Theater comes a knocking.
You know.
Especially one. There is one that I know
I think
everyone will have to be here for.
But I think at that point we call it Renegade Rest in Peace Theater. I am the greatest.
I would normally end the pun. I would normally end the video on a pun of that caliber, but you know what? I'll give it to you.
Yep.
Much obliged, sir. That was well done.
You can have that one for free, boss.
I cannot believe.
So okay, Renegade Rest in
greatest.
Peace Theater. So okay,
I
for
have
me, go ahead.
seen
Go ahead.
so many horror movies.
Okay, have you seen 1982? The Thing from 1982.
I have not seen The Thing.
Okay,
No.
that is one that we are all going to have to be here for.
Nate,
including Micah, because he loves that film.
Nate,
I mean, it's good. I don't really.
I
love
think
Really?
that film. I mean,
You've talked about it at like ad nauseum in some cases.
when
In
we were
some
talking
of the
about it
videos.
earlier.
Yeah, well, no, in
I've
some of our
actually heard
previous
you talk
videos.
about it a few times.
Oh,
mostly
yeah.
in like the practical effects department.
Well,
Oh, yeah, I mean,
yeah,
the practical
well,
effects are
Stan
cool.
Winston. I mean, go
Yeah.
figure.
Well, I mean, I
Nate.
respect Stan Winston. But
The better question is, which horror movies have I seen?
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know that
Horror
Ben
movies are
watches
not
horror movies.
my thing.
I haven't seen a ton.
I've seen.
You're the one who's seen all the Leprechaun movies.
No, I haven't. We established I had not.
Okay,
because
but-
I didn't realize
okay.
there were that many.
Yeah,
You've seen like 6 of them, though.
that is something.
That's more than I can say. I saw
That's
like
Leprechaun
more than I've
1.
seen.
Yeah, I
I
don't
saw
watch those.
I
Leprechaun
think this
1.
was
like
5.
Huh?
I think this was 5.
That's still 8 more than I've seen.
Leprechaun 1,
There's
2, 3,
3.
Space, In the Hood, and Origins.
I can't remember if I've seen Origins. Or
Okay,
not. But
so
there's
that's a maybe.
There's Back to the Hood.
Well, you haven't seen that one, which, God.
And there's-
And,
Probably for the best. But yeah, no, I have seen surprisingly few horror movies.
So, all right.
I think
Have you seen The Thing from 1982?
I can't say that I have.
Damn.
Well, see,
I know about it. I've read about it at length because, you know, that's how I make up for a lot of things is, you know, I've missed a lot of things in my life, so I just research things.
Yeah.
I do that.
Yeah.
I saw it when I was a kid. I was
That
about
explains
10, 11
things.
years old. Holy hell, dude. My life was changed forever. And then the Fire Nation attack.
I mean, you know.
But no.
Anyway.
Honestly, I did watch
No,
that,
you don't
and it
have
was.
to keep talking after that.
Huh?
You just brought Avatar into this damn video. You're not allowed to keep talking.
Oh yeah, we're gonna get blocked by. All right, so yeah, we're gonna end the video now.
Oh, we're still recording. Hi.
Yeah, we are still recording, and thank you all once again for tuning in. We'll see you later. Peace out. Oh, before we go, check out Dead Meat. Check out James A. Janice. Check out all of their stuff. They do awesome work. And James, if you ever see this, big fan, dude. Keep it up. All right, peace out.
It's the video that just wouldn't die.